facts are complete, each member of the party is to guess out loud who or she thinks did it. After this discussion, then we turn the page.
I believe it was the professor.
I think it was the wife.
I believe it was my mother.
I think it's Lilith.
It's Lilith. It's always the
Lilith.
spouse.
Right here.
And sometimes it's not always
It is
spouse.
suspicious.
She could have truly loved him
Very
though.
suspicious.
That's awfully sus.
I think it was
I think
Professor.
I think it was my mom. I think she was trying to keep things secret.
True, you know what? I did think it was Darlene.
She was licking barbecue sauce.
So who all thinks it was Brittany? Who all thinks it was Lilith? I do. Who all thinks it was Bo? Who all thinks it was the professor? Who all thinks it was Darlene?
Oh wait, no, I think. Sorry,
Me.
Darlene.
Thanks, by
Who
the
all
way.
thinks it was Tommy? Who all thinks it was Judy? Who all thinks it was me?
Part of me thinks it's you.
Who thinks it's the cat?
Melvin, where are you?
Fucking Melvin.
Okay, it says...
Spent my whole life protecting these lives of these precious kitties here in Louisiana. I even turned my backyard into a cat colony for my babies to live here until I found their forever homes. It has been my life's goal. Mr. Van Beer had hassled me on this and said that people on the estates complained when some of my cats would stray. The day that he and Mr. Boone came to take the 10 cats, they said that they were going to give them checkups and then found them homes. I was so touched until I found that receipt for their euthanization and cremation. I tried to talk to him about it during the pageant, but there wasn't time. I went to his office after the show. I was so angry, but I am a lifesaver, not a murderer. When I showed up, I saw Tommy and Mr. Van Beer in the office. I realized it wasn't the right time, so I headed home.
Uncle Carlton ruined my future. My beauty and talent really is supreme. That night I lost the pageant, I found out that Tanya Michael stole her act from a Las Vegas miming group. I showed him the video of her entire routine on the internet, but he didn't care. He said his decision was final. It's so unfair. I was going to move away from this town in the shadow of my mama and take the crown of Miss America. But he ruined it. I went to his office to plead again for Tanya's disqualification. When I showed up, I heard two men talking, and then Tommy Salford, whatever your last name is, walked out. I thought if Tommy and Uncle Carlton were talking, then his mind was on his campaign, and he would have no interest in listening to me. I figured it wasn't the right time, and I went home. I'd come back in the morning, pour on my charm, and change his mind. I didn't kill Uncle Carlton. I only wanted him to give me my crown as I rightfully deserved.
It's true. I was in Mr. Van Beer's office that night. He found out that I was going to announce my candidacy for governor. And he was angry. And he was angry? He had hired a private investigator to dig up dirt on me. He had photos of me dressed in Brittany Barbara's gown in my trailer and was going to release them to the press. I went to his office after the pageant to plead with him. I told him that this political career was never going to happen and it would mean a lot if he would support me. He actually listened and said he would not run against me, but after I realized how many fans Candy Corn had, why should I even care if anyone found out? In fact, running as Tommy and as Candy Corn may help me win.
Because you like to wear my tie.
That I made because they're beautiful.
Listen, I'm so ashamed that I squandered all of Mom and Pop's money away at the casino. I feel even worse that my dear Brittany Barbara isn't even going to see none of it due to my love for those flashing lights on them slot machines. I was upset. I was taken out of the will, but when I went to speak to Carlton the night of the pageant, I wasn't going to ask to be put back in the will. Instead, I wanted him to put my little powdered donut Brittany Barbara in the will. I saw Atticus Boone hanging around Carlton's front door. He told me that it was best to come back in the morning.
Oh.
You see, the money wasn't important to me. Never was. I guess now that Brittany Barbara isn't even my kin none more, none matters. I didn't kill my brother.
I was not happy with Mr. Van Buren. I have been his loyal employee for many years now. Mr. Van Buren was lucky to have money, but he didn't have the brains or skills to make any good decisions. Whenever he was present with a problem or real estate proposal, I was the one who had to guide him through these decisions. His wealth flourished because I was his right-hand man. But I was not respected, recognized, nor did I get any financial gain did I deserve from that. That night I did go, and I did have words with him. I told him that I didn't need to make his partner, that I would quit. I did quit, but I gave him a 2-week notice. After our argument, he requested to be left alone. When I saw Bo heading up this way, I asked him to return in the morning because those were the instructions from my employer. Just after that, though, I was about to head to my quarters and I heard a knock downstairs and the sound of 2 men arguing in the office. I didn't go down there because I didn't care anymore. I'm not a murderer, though. I'm only overqualified butler who can do a drop-death roll at a command.
Yes, it was I who was arguing with Mr. Van Buren. You see, it's not that I didn't like him. Truthfully, I thought he would make a great politician, but my government was so threatened by a successful man with strong southern ties that having such a message of unity that I had to work hard to see his defeat in the elections. When he found out my true identity,
Melvin, man. We did that earlier. You're off cue. Melvin, no.
he was going to turn me in to the U.S. government. I would have sent it back. I would have been sent back to my home country. I couldn't believe it. The love of my life is here. I had plans to murder Mr. Van Buren, but just as our argument was getting to a heated climax, his wife, Lilith Evelyn, came in and offered us both tea. I declined and abruptly left. I did not murder him.
I worked so hard to keep the truth about my past and my 3 deceased husbands behind me. I was Trudy Rivers from a trailer park just like the mobile chateau. Why do you think I encouraged Carlton to build them? They reminded me of who I am, but I did not kill any of my husbands. Their deaths were always by chance. It just so happens to be that they were all filthy rich and I benefited financially. I love Carlton and I had no plans to murder him. That night I intended to tell him that my independent wealth was dwindling and I needed a financial allowance.
Marvin needs you.
I was in the kitchen when Darlene Felicia came over to visit. She was upset about her daughter's pageant loss and kept asking if I knew why the heritage portion of the pageant was canceled. Of course, I had no idea. She told me that Carlton and I deserved to have a relaxing night, and she handed me some homemade tea. She excused herself, and I went to Carlton's office where he was having words with the professor. The professor left, I delivered the tea, and Carlton requested to be alone. That was the last time I saw him alive. I didn't murder him.
Well, you got me. When Bo Beaufort and I got a divorce, it was just days later that his inheritance and I got nothing. When I found out I was pregnant, I knew it wasn't Bo's kid. The timeline didn't match, but nobody even questioned it. I felt like it was my end. I have lived forever knowing that Brittany Barbara would get money and share it with her mama. But that fool, Bo Beaufort, dwindled his fortune down to nothing at the casino. I knew the money would eventually come my way, but I had to be patient. When the DNA results came out and half of Brittany Barbara was scattered through Russia, I knew my time was up. I had to act. What better way than to off Carlton Van Buren and Lilith Evelyn together? Then I could go after Bo Beaufort. I knew Brittany Barbara was studying that complex chemistry of beauty. When I was looking through her notes, I saw the ingestion of the blonde hair dye and some hairspray was a deadly combination. So I mixed them into some tea, which was intended for both Carlton Van Buren and Lilith Evelyn.
Wow.
My plan was foiled, and Lilith Evelyn is still here. She is like one of my Judy Sue's cats. She just keeps on living. It was me, though. I murdered Carlton Van Buren.
I knew it was my mom.
Started this night of societal chaos.
I called it.
Damn it.
I fucking knew
You called
it was
it.
her.
God, the professor was so... I knew it was one of you two.
She had every motive.
Oh, that
he
was
found
so
out
fun.
he was Russian. Me too. And now
I meant to
wasn't
kill
part
you.
of the family.
You should have died.
Wait, if we would have died, how'd you got the money?
You should have
Because then she
died.
would have come
She was
after
still
me.
lying.
So, did you have fun?
I had a blast.
Did you think that Darlene was going to be the killer?
I questioned it a couple different times. My suspicions were actually on the professor, and that she was also involved, which she ended up being the main culprit instead, so I was kind of right.
So, would you recommend this to friends?
Yes, absolutely.
And you would play it again?
Absolutely.
Alright, thanks for playing. So, what do you think about the game?
It was a lot of fun.
So, you enjoyed it?
I really enjoyed it.
Would you play it again?
Yes.
So, you would recommend it to people?
Yes, I would.
Totally. And did you have any idea that Darlene was going to be the killer?
Not till towards almost the very end.
And what do you think about that?
After I started kind of putting more things together, I was like, oh yeah, that makes more sense. And yeah.
Did you ever think it was going to be you?
Yes, I thought that from the very beginning. I thought it was me the whole time, really.
Alright, thanks. So, what did you think about tonight?
Oh, I enjoyed it. It was fun, and it was a mystery, murder mystery, and I didn't have really a good clue of what the answer was going to be or who the murderer was.
So you had no idea that Darlene was going to...
No, I didn't think so. No, she wasn't one of my top picks.
Would you recommend this game to anyone else?
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Would you play it again?
The same game or a different game?
A different version.
Oh yeah, a different game, for sure.
Okay. So, what did you think about the game?
I really enjoyed the game.
Did you have any idea that Darlene was going to be the killer?
No. And it upsets me even more.
Would you play this game again? Like,
yes.
Not this one, but like a different version?
Yes, I would.
So you would recommend it?
Yep, and I hate Darlene so very much. She broke my heart, she killed my brother, and then my daughter's not even my daughter.
Oh, thanks for playing, Ian. So, did you have fun?
Absolutely, that was awesome.
Did you have any idea that Darlene was going to be the killer?
Not until about halfway through it, and then I started putting things together and I knew it was her.
Would you recommend this to anyone else to play?
Oh, absolutely, this is great.
Would you play it again?
Absolutely.
At like a different version?
Yes.
Thank you for playing. Hi, so you were the killer. What do you think about that?
Is this my mugshot?
It is. Smile, you're on camera.
I had a feeling from when I read my secret page that I might be the killer.
You did. So,
And I was the killer.
so did you have fun?
Oh, it was a blast.
Would you play this game again?
Oh, yes. 100%.
Would you recommend it to friends?
Oh, yes.
Thanks for playing.
It was so fun.
Hello, Judy. Did you have fun?
I did.
Would you play this game again?
I would.
Would you recommend it to people?
Yeah.
And did you have any idea that Darlene was going to be the killer?
No.
Who do you think it was going to be?
Either Lilith or my cat.
So, did you ever once think it was you?
No.
Alright, thanks for playing.